Well, guys, I'm flipping out. I don't know if I should have some paella, but for me, this signing, I mean, it's practically done, even if it's not official yet. But the buzz from the last few hours and Fabrizio Romano's tweet from a few minutes ago, I think it already puts it at a point where there's no turning back unless there's a big surprise. Cucurella is going to play for Real Madrid. I understand it will cost around 60 million. Careful, Cucurella is younger than I thought. He's going to turn, or I don't know if he already turned 27 years old. Mourinho thinks his signing is, let's say, essential because he doesn't trust any of the left backs currently in Real Madrid's squad. I understand that he's injured, and unfortunately, when he recovers, he gets injured again. Carreras, as we discussed earlier, is the subject of Arbeloa's report, and it's likely he doesn't look good in it. They would look for a way for Carreras to leave Madrid, but we'd have to see under what terms, because he cost 60 million last year. But because it's understood that he wouldn't be a good substitute, would Fran Garcia be a better substitute? And maybe Fran Garcia will stay as Cucurella's backup. Because by signing Cucurella, it's clear that you want to get rid of at least one left back. Because to me, it seems impossible to sell him since he's been injured for a long time. Let me know in the comments what you think. To me, it seems like a great signing because of his age and the type of left back he is. I'm really surprised that Chelsea is letting him go for, well, he can't be worth more than 60 million, and that's already a lot. Last year, we were saying careers 60 million, and damn, it's hard to pay that much for Cucurella and for anyone else too, any left back, unless we're talking about someone absolutely generational like Roberto Carlos or Marcelo. It's hard to pay that much. But damn, Cucurella is the left back for the team, world champion for Chelsea. Spain's national team left back, and hugely important in winning that European title. And a footballer who, moreover, in London over there at Chelsea, they like him, a player they're sure to be pissed off if we take him from them. Waiting for official confirmation in the next few hours. But there's something else that's really good, and that's that you're also taking him away again from Atletico de Madrid and Barcelona. And on top of that, he played in Barca's youth academy. And it would be, well, the second one in just a few days where you make a strategic move, not only to bring him to your team, but also to take him away from these others, right? Because there's been a lot of talk, and at one point, and Madrid was out of that equation, he was closer to Atletico and Barca. And like I said, this way you're not only really strengthening the left back position, which was extremely important to bolster, but you're also keeping your rivals from getting him. A Barca Youth Academy player. I remember Cucurella when he had already, I don't know if he had already left Barca at that time or not, but he went to Eibar. I insist, I don't know if he was transferred or loaned, and he had a terrific game against us. A match that Ayub won against us 1-0, I think, over there. It was a match that wasn't at the Bernabeu, and he played an amazing game against us from the midfield, because it has to be said that this guy started out as a midfielder. He was converted to a left back, and, well, look, it cost Chelsea a lot of money back in the day. There was even talk that it was too much money for someone like him. But as time went by, he proved that, well, he was worth it. He was worth it to be one of the defenders or one of the top defenders in the Premier League. And then to bring that to international football, winning the Euro Cup 2 years ago, and then Real Madrid signs him. And on top of that, he's a very Mourinho type player. I think he can become one of his soldiers. He's very loyal to his coaches, to those who trust him. The other day he said, and not as a joke, because this guy's crazy, I really like him, Cucurella cracks me up. He said if he wins the World Cup, he'll get Luis de la Fuente's face tattooed on him. If Spain wins the World Cup, this guy will come to Madrid with a Luis de la Fuente face tattoo. I don't know how some Madrid fans are going to take that, but, well, since I'm above all those hang-ups and things, look, I'll leave that to those who can't reconcile Real Madrid with the Spanish national team. I don't care. I'm really happy to sign this guy. And look, we could say that a lot of you don't care, but I do. That we have a Real Madrid player in the Spanish national team, even if it's like how Barca used Villa back when they won the World Cup in 2010, right? Jokes aside, great move. And as a great move, I think, if this is true, although I take it with a grain of salt, because in England there are no release clauses. What Jose Felix Diaz is telling us about what Madrid would do with Victor Muñoz. Well, it already seems clear that Victor Muñoz is going to leave for Newcastle. There's a transfer there. Madrid is going to get half of the amount that Newcastle ends up paying. They were talking about between 15 and 17 million. But of course, how do you put in a buyback clause that only lasts for 1 year? This is what they say. The Madrid club has managed to keep a buyback option for 1 season in this three-way deal, and it won't be a bridge to go to Barca because of the fear we talked about the other day, right? That there was in Real Madrid, that this could be a move between Newcastle and Barcelona, and to wait for this year for the boy, who in my opinion has already done it. We've talked about it in previous videos, to prove that he can definitely be in a team like Real Madrid by taking this step, which is certainly an important one. They lost a winger, Gordon, who went to Barca. Newcastle, well, look, would be strengthening that position, although I think Gordon plays on the left and Victor Muñoz on the right. But anyway, they're both wingers too. And this season, let's see if this guy can then come back, can return to Real Madrid. A buyback clause that only lasts 1 year. How? Because of that arrangement as well. It's no longer about the 50%. It's about getting a buyback clause, which I understand. We'll look at the numbers later to see what amounts they're talking about. I realize it won't be a bargain of 8, 9, or 10 million anymore. Even 8 million would cost Real Madrid more now, and that's still a significant amount. If he proves himself and Real buys him back for 25, that doesn't seem like a good deal to me. What we were talking about yesterday about Nico Paz, by the way, they're fine-tuning it a bit more. Joel Guerrero, who has good information about this, said that Nico Paz, well, he isn't convinced. Playing as a starter for Real Madrid is important to him, so he wants to stay at Como for another year. Does this mean he's leaving Real Madrid? Not at all. The kid who supposedly spoke with Mourinho about what was said regarding Real Madrid, not at all. And that he supposedly spoke with Mourinho over a video call and told him that, proved that he actually told him that in a team like Madrid, I would agree with that because of what happened later. And Mourinho himself would understand that for the same reason as the player, right? It was going to be tough for him to play with Bernardo Silva, Güler, and others in his position there. And the kid wants to stay another season. It bothers me because of what he's already done. Show that you can be an even better player. And as for Victor Muñoz, well, we'll see at Madrid this coming season. But I can understand it. And still, look, can you become an even better player? And about Victor Muñoz, well, we'll see if this is actually true and if clauses like this can really be done in England. About Bouaddi, it turns out that Madrid was indeed following Bouaddi, or at least that's what Santi Auna told us, or Santi Auna on December 7th this year, December 7th, 2025, so about 7 months ago, he said this, that Madrid had definitely set their sights on Ayub Boadí. And about 7 months ago, he said this, Real Madrid has their eye on Ayub Boadí, and I didn't even remember that we had played against this guy, and it was actually a really good match. It was in the match we played against Lille at the start of the 25 season, well, the 24-25 season in the Champions League. I've seen footage I can't show since it's Champions League, but this year the kid gave a true masterclass as a midfielder, especially considering his age, and he did it against Real Madrid. And for his age, now that he's already 18, yesterday he did it. Previously, Madrid. And for his age, now that he's already 18 yesterday playing against Brazil, it was a great match. And what I mean by this is that the kid seems more than proven. That's why this year Paris Saint-Germain, well, I don't know, maybe they got ahead of everyone else. I hope all these moves by Bernardo Silva, Chico, Cucurella, and so on are showing that compared to before, well, I don't know if they would have gotten ahead. I hope all these moves by Bernardo Silva, by Cucurella, and so on are reflected, that a prime Florentino or something similar has awakened, and this could be a great summer. The team could be perfect. A prime Florentino or something similar has awakened, and this could be a great summer. And he says, no, we were ahead of them. We were ahead of them, which would cost anyone 70 million, costando a cualquiera, to Arsenal or to Paris Saint-Germain. But I'm afraid that because it's Real Madrid and because he played a great match in the World Cup, they're going to ask us for more for this one per year. Man, but come on, there's this thing. I've done it, commented on it. It shows that on March 6, 2025, it said, I'm obsessed with Boadí. He's a technical, mature midfielder who recovers the ball with elegance like Busquets. His ball control and spatial awareness are perfect. Also, well, now the real team is a bit about the kid. this year on November 30th, 2023. So you understand, this boy was 15 years old. Remember the name Ayub for the midfielder with Lille. He's impressed me again. Good ball control, dominant in duels, and his composure shows it. The best news today in Ljubljana, apart from the 0-2, this is from November 30th, 2023. Listen, the kid, when they ask him about his hobbies outside of football, they ask the boy, what do you do in your free time? And he says, I study mathematics. This man making the most of my free time. This is already translated. Maybe there's something to save already. That's how I was raised, and this helps keep my mind active. I mean, Ayub is an all-rounder. It shows what it's like to be perfectly equipped. That's how I was raised, and this helps keep my mind active. I mean, Ayub is an all-rounder. Well, this is already up to the person who posted the tweet, but that was his answer to a question they asked him about his interest outside of football. Madrid, a kid, 18 years old in France. This guy decided, 18 years old, he did it in the last few months because he played with older players. He shows perfectly in all categories. It has been a blow, apparently, in the last few months because he played with the French national team in all categories. It has been a blow, apparently, from what I have read in the last few hours, getting interested in this kid, as we all are doing for him. No, para el fútbol francés. And for the French Federation, that in the end he decided to play for Morocco. He probably saw that with players like Chouameni, N'Golo Kante, and all those guys, there's no way I'm going to play here. And with Morocco, they guarantee me a starting spot. The Moroccan Federation, in this sense, is recruiting players by telling them, hey, with me, you're going to be a starter on this team. Meanwhile, in the Spanish Federation with Brahim, or the French one with Ayub, nothing is guaranteed there. But with us, it is. Previous ones, they show that he could easily go with any team. Anyway, like I said, this guy looks really promising. For example, Translator is also the one who posted a tweet on October 12, 2025. They did a report on him, and he says, Ayub Bouaddi, even though he has played more than 60 matches with Lille and is already 18 years old, still lives in the club's sports residence. Ayub decided to study mathematics and specialize in it. In his own words, he says, it activates my brain, it increases my intelligence. Well, a midfielder with a good head on his shoulders, a very interesting player, as we saw in that debut of Morocco at the World Cup against Brazil. In the first half, Morocco gave Brazil a real run for their money, and that's it. And hopefully this year, Madrid will surprise us and show that he fits perfectly in a team like Madrid, but it's going to be very tough. Well, all the best to you. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. And then it's going to be really tough, especially if you get into it. It's going to be very complicated. All the best to you. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel, comment, and share. We're going back to the news. We started this video with Cucurella is unofficially, but not officially yet, pretty much signed for the left back position. Man, I really like it, and I hope he proves he's a perfect fit. Signed for the left back position, and I'm glad. I really like the signing. I hope you let me know in the comments what you think. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Hype it up, please. Subscribe to the channel, comment, share, and I'll see you in the next one.